Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon to you, wherever you're joining from. Welcome to the Metabase 48 release webinar. We're excited to take you through some of the cool new features that we've just launched today. So we're joined by Luiz Arakaki, who is our product manager, who's worked on a bunch of these features that we're going to show you today. And we also have Luiz joining from the success engineering team, who's going to be able to answer some of your questions. And myself, I'm Jess. I'm the product marketing manager here at Metabase. So if you want to take a minute and just jump into the chat on the right-hand side panel here and say hello, tell us where you're joining from, and we'll get started very soon. We're going to walk you through our new Metabase Analytics feature, which gives you more insight into how your Metabase is being used. And then we're also going to show you some dashboard improvements and search enhancements as well, to sort of make creating dashboards and getting around Metabase a little bit easier. Cool, so we'll just see, cool. Hello from Argentina, from Mexico, Pittsburgh, Spain. That's awesome. Love to see people joining from all over the world. And I will just take a minute to direct you to the polls that are in that right-hand column as well. Just jump in there whenever you have a chance throughout this call. Let us know if you're using Metabase already and what team you're part of. It'd be great to hear from you. But to get us started, I'm going to hand us over to Luiz, who's going to show us Metabase Analytics.
All right, cool. So welcome, everyone, and nice to be here presenting our new headline feature for 48. So yeah, let's get started. Sharing screen here. Cool. All right. So why did we build this in the first place, and what's our goal here? So we know that many data teams out there using Metabase, they want to know more about how people are using Metabase. So kind of a meta analytics thing. And there are many reasons to do that, right? So this is one of the interesting parts of this feature, that it serves multiple use cases. So one very common thing is to try to understand how people are using Metabase to help the data team understand usage, adoption, like how many people in the company are using Metabase, how many weekly active users we have, if people are creating things, or if people are only viewing what's already there. So all this data about how your users are using Metabase can be useful both to prove that Metabase is bringing value to the company, or even to understand what you can improve, what kind of groups are more engaged, and try to do something with this information. So this is one big part of this. The second is about security and compliance. Like Metabase have logs to store many actions that people do here, what they change, what they create, what queries they run, what they download. And this is useful for compliance purposes, to understand what people are doing when. So I'll show a bit how you can use this for the more classic auditing purposes. And lastly, we also are exposing here some metrics about performance in Metabase. So time that dashboards take to run, things that you could do to do some kind of tuning on your questions dashboards to make them faster. So yeah, those are basically the three main reasons that we build this. This is kind of an evolution of the first audit feature that we had in Metabase, that was a pro and enterprise only feature. The goal of this feature is to make that better and also increase the scope. And this continues to be a pro and enterprise only feature. So if you're interested on this, you can check out how if you're on open source or starter, you can check how to upgrade to this version. So yeah, let's get started. I will show here a few things, and we made basically two big improvements here. One is that we are tracking more things than previously. So we added a series of new events that we are tracking, and they'll show here, so you can audit what's going on in your instance. And also we created this content for you in a specific collection that's pre-made. You can both use edits or extend this content for your own needs. So let's start with the dashboards, and then I'll go to the models and show some of the events that we added. So here is some sample data of what you see there. So I'm filtering here the last 52 weeks for sample group of users here. And then here you can see already a few information about your instance. You can check like how many weekly active users you have, how it's behaving, how many question views this group had in the previous week, how if people are creating or viewing more things. And you can see like the trends things, and also check who is creating more stuff here, which questions and dashboards people are seeing more. So yeah, this is a good start to check how people are using Metabase. And then you can segment this by group. I'm using this group here with some sample data, but you can use any group in your instance, and also use filters here if you want to check for fewer weeks. So yeah, that's the first thing, more general metrics. Then you can explore a bit what's the most viewed content in your instance, like which questions with dashboards are the most used, and all of these are linked to other dashboards or other things. So if you click here, you'll be redirected directly to this question, or if you click here, you go to that table. So this is all included with links. Here we have a view of a specific person. So this is more for audit purposes, or if you want to explore a bit what an individual is doing. So here I'm filtering by my ID here, and then you can already check some interesting things like my email, when I joined this instance, if I'm active, if I'm an admin, which members I'm a member of, if you want to quickly check for permissions, and also my activity on this instance. And then you go, for each of these tabs, you can go deeper here. Right? You can see what I am recently viewing, what I most view in this instance, and also what queries am I running and what things I'm downloading. So you can see here that I downloaded some CSVs recently, how many rows. So this can be used to investigate some things that you want to see in your instance. And lastly, I can see everything that I'm doing here in Metabase. So I'm working right now, this is our internal development instance. So I'm working right now on a project to create API keys for authentication. And you can see I created some API keys here. So this is also now possible to check what the user is doing on a very granular level. Cool. Then we have a section about content. So you can see some metrics about content as well. So this is one of our most used dashboards, the dashboard 357, that's self-service business. And here we can see how many dashboard views we got from per month. Again, I'm filtering a particular group here. And I can see that Bruno, our VP of product and marketing, is who is the most active on this dashboard. And he did most card addition and card removals here. I can also have a list of all the questions that are in this dashboard. This was a very requested feature. Like I want to know which questions I have in a given dashboard, and also which dashboards a question belongs to. And now we have this also in the question dashboard. So yeah, so this is the pre-made content. All of this content can be extended. So if you want to, for any reason, copy this dashboard and add more cards, you can just duplicate it and copy to another collection and use it. This collection that we are shipping with the product is locked, so you can't edit anything here, but you can copy this and then add new cards if you want. Well, but if for any reason the dashboard that we made are not enough for your use case, we are exposing also models with this raw data, so you can explore this as you want to answer more specific questions for your user needs. So I have here, for instance, the activity log. Here we log almost every user action that happens in Metabase. So if you want to see, for instance, a particular setting that was updated, you can just come here and check who did that and when. So here's a complete log of all the things that are changed in your settings. But there are many things here that you can check. So API creations, question creations, dashboard creations, everything is logged in the activity log table. We also have the query log. Here, it's a table with all the queries that run against your data sources. So you can check, like if it's a download, here in query source, for instance, you can check all the downloads that are happening in your instance and check if there's something that you want to understand better. You have the databases, the cards, and here you can explore this as usual. And also about the content, like this dashboard contains all the content in your instance, so the collections, dashboards, cards. So if you want to know, for instance, how many questions you have that have bar or line charts, you can come here and do some exploration. So I want to know here in Metabase if we use more, which type of this type we use. So I can do this quickly here and check. So table is the most common this setting here in the past 30 days. So just sort this to make it easier to see. So table, line, bars, color. So as expected, these are the types of this chart that we are using most here in Metabase. So yeah, that's basically it. Those are the new dashboards, and these are the new models. We added a lot of new things that were not, was not previously tracked in Metabase. So these are more complete comparing to the previous audit feature. And yeah, just let's take a look on the performance side here. We have two new things here. The performance dashboards. Here you can see, for instance, dashboards that have too many questions in the same tab. So here we have, for instance, a dashboard with 200 cards in the same tab. This will be very slow to load. So this is also something that you can explore and check if you can optimize these, or maybe divide them in multiple tabs to reduce the number of queries that are fired against the database. And here also we have like which dashboards are the slowest, and you can filter here by group, so to check for a given group what dashboards are slower than others. And then I have the same for questions, databases, and even individual users. If you want to check which users are consuming most resources, you can check here. So yeah. Last thing that show is the content with cobwebs. So basically this is content that was not used in a long time. Internally here in Metabase, we have a process to archive questions that are not viewed for a long time. But if I change here the filter, so I want to see all the questions that weren't visualized in 10 days, then we have a list of questions here. So yeah, this can be used if you want to archive some stuff or clean up your instance. Like we have some dashboards here that we're not visualizing like 300 days. So these are very good candidates for archive. Cool. So this is the new feature. Like the idea here is that we will evolve this content over time. Like now we can easily add new dashboards or change the ones that we already have. So based on your feedback and things that we discover, we'll be adding or removing stuff here. Now a bit about some settings that are important for this. This is automatically available for all admins in the instance, and also everyone that had this monitoring access permission for their group. So everyone that had yes here will automatically inherit access to that collection. From now on, this collection will be like a standalone collection, so it will behave like any other collection here in the permission panel. So basically, you grant or revoke access as you'd do with any collection. So you just come here and grant access. The top level collection is view only for all users, but then we added custom reports here that people can add, create access and move content there, or create new stuff there. So yeah, that's it. Last thing is about the deprecation process. We still have the audit tab in the admin panel for one release, but we are removing this tab in a following release. So almost everything that's available here is already available in the new Metabase Analytics collection. So we are planning to remove this in the next release. Cool, yeah. That's it. So passing to Jess.
Awesome. Thank you, Luis. That was super comprehensive. Yeah, thank you also, Luigi, for mentioning that we will be doing a Q&A at the end of the session. I kind of skipped over that in the intro. But yeah, if you have any questions as we're going through stuff, please feel free to drop it in the chat and we'll talk about it all at the end. Yeah, and now in the meantime, I'm going to share my screen as well and take you through some of the improvements to dashboards and searching. So obviously, I don't think my screen, oh yeah, there it is. Sorry, we're getting there. Here we go. Yeah, so obviously Luis just took us through Metabase Analytics, which is like a very admin heavy sort of feature, really good for managing your instance, who's coming in and going and what kind of content you've gotten there. But this release also has a few changes that are suitable for everyone in the team to use. So whether you're creating dashboards as a data team or more of an end user like myself, some of the dashboard improvements that we rolled out with Metabase 47, we've continued to sort of iterate on, take feedback and sort of work it into the product as well. So the first thing that we have changed here is the ability to move cards between tabs. So tabs are actually a new feature in Metabase 47, but once you added a card to a tab, it was kind of stuck there on the first one. So now if you go into edit mode on your dashboard, you'll see this handy little icon here. And then, so this card is a little taxi. So I'm going to move this into the tax tab. And it's just one click. And then I come over here and that card's moved over to a different tab. So I can save that. And the other change here is, if I head back to orders, is you can now, when you add a filter, it will automatically wire up that filter to all the cards without having to manually go through and select the field that you want to filter on. So what I'll do is I will add a date filter here. Let's go relative. And then if I select the created app field, that has automatically populated the same thing across all of my cards here. So I don't have to go through and do it one by one, which is super handy because I hate doing that. Cool. So those are kind of the main dashboard improvements. The other thing is filters for search. So I will head up here. I'm going to search for beer, which is kind of a weird thing to search for in my company's Metabase. But here we are. So now you can see I have several results for beer. I can also filter this down by content type. So maybe I just want to look for a model, or maybe I want to see a dashboard. I am actually going to look for verified items only, so I can see this is a model that my data team has marked as official and correct. And maybe just to check again for freshness, I'm going to see the last time it was edited. Okay, I thought I edited that yesterday, maybe today. There we go. Cool, so now I can click into that and I know for sure that this is the closest thing to what I'm looking for. And just quickly while we're here as well, we also made some improvements to CSV uploads. So that was released in 47 as well. And with 48, we've also added the ability for this primary key to be automatically generated so that you can do a lot more analysis and all the cool stuff that Metabase can do without, even if your CSV doesn't have a primary key by default, just that kind of ID row. Cool. And yeah, those are kind of the main dashboard and search sort of day-to-day improvements. But if you're interested in learning more about those, check out our release notes. There's more detail in there. You can see how to use it. Alrighty. So I think that is pretty much it for the demo phase, unless you guys had anything else you wanted to share. Luigi? Otherwise, I think we're ready for Q&A.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to mention something about what should be coming in 49, or we leave that for another release. 49 is going to come in like end of February, and there are some things that we have already confirmed in the roadmap, something that's still not there. But if you have any questions around it, just let us know. We always like to engage with the community around, things that are coming, things that you guys need. In case someone has, something relevant that you might need for some specific use case, just let us know. Put your comments in the chat or any questions you might have in the chat, so we can answer.
Yep, and you can always check out our roadmap at metabase.com/roadmap. It's a nice, easy one to type. Cool. I see there's been a few questions come up already that it looks like you're across already, Luigi.
Yep.
Yeah, anyone else have any questions about Metabase Analytics, dashboard stuff, upcoming releases? Okay, Carolina would like to know more about how the alerts feature works.
I'll get that one. So Carolina, so alerts is a very specific feature we have on questions. So you first need to build a question, and also you need to, like alerts don't work in all the visualizations that we have. They just work in a very specific set of visualizations, very clear in the documentation how that works. But let me give you an example. Let's say you have a line chart, right? And in that line chart, you define a goal, right? Once you define that goal, you can now configure the alerts. Like, for example, let's say they have a line chart, and every single time you want the line to cross, say, the value of 100, we want to get an alert. You configure that alert, and Metabase will, run that question on a cadence, on the cadence you define. And if the question, like the line crosses that value, it will send you an email. That's how the alerting feature works. I don't know if this discovered the question you had, or you need any other detail about that.
Yeah, something that I didn't mention about the Metabase Analytics project is that now you can also use other features of Metabase with audits or logs content. And one that you can use is actually alerts. So I'll show very quickly how you can set up one alert that can be interesting for like audit content. So let's say that you have, like in here in the activity log, you want to check if, let's find something here. Like if someone change a setting in your instance, for example, and you want to know, receive an alert on Slack or by email, you can like filter here, like what happened like 1 hour, oops, 1 hour ago. I can add this and set an alert here. So I need to save this. And then I can create an alert hourly. This will check if anyone is changing a setting, and I will receive an email if I set up this alert. So this is one of new things that you can do with Metabase Analytics. You can also set up dashboard subscriptions. So if you want to see this dashboard in Slack, you can just create a subscription here and send it to see your Metabase metrics. Yeah, that's it.
I can mention another really interesting use case that in fact we had from customers, which is there's people that want to know when a question fails. Like, if there's a question that's failing, pretty often or more often than you want, you can set an alert. Like you can say, give me a count of this question when some error happens, and put an alert on it. If that question, happens, or if maybe the question runs, in a time which is higher than the time you want, right? I mean, because the database might be loaded, or maybe the question is simply like badly designed. You can get the alerts on that. So that's pretty cool. Thanks to the new feature. There are a couple of things more that I read here. Like Taufik says, for the CSV uploads, I have the problem for the maximum value allowed. For example, like that's like 200 billion, maybe, if I'm not reading wrong, is impossible. This is already including 4803. So there are a couple of things that we made in 4803 pretty cool for CSV uploads. What I believe is that probably the limit or the problem might come not from the CSV upload itself, but rather from the data warehouse that you want to persist that value to. Like, I don't know which data type we create that value as. If we create that as an integer, it will surely fail, right? I mean, you cannot fit the number in an integer. I mean, again, integer maybe depending on the data warehouse you put that. But I'll have to double check that. Probably that's the issue you're seeing, to fix.
Yeah, I know you fixed something about data type of integers on CSVs. I'm not sure if 200 billion will be available now, but I think so. Need to check exactly which minor version it went.
And CSV appends is coming up very soon, right?
Sooner than you think.
Yeah, yeah, CSV appends is coming like in short term, so actually being developed right now.
Cool. Any updates coming on dashboard aesthetics, e.g. changing colors of cards, changing font size and single number widgets and tables, etc.?
I haven't seen anything on that road, at least for now. Something that you, Josh, might be more interested in is that we are thinking about not changing inside Metabase all the aesthetics of cards or dashboards, but rather we might think about giving you, in case you want to embed the chart or the dashboard, you might want to embed that into your application. Right now, the way that you embed is via an iframe, so you basically like put Metabase inside your application. But we might change that into giving you an SDK, so you can just invoke components from Metabase, and you can style those components. And in that way, you will be able to change, like it's the style component email, you will be able to change anything on that. So again, that might be the road that we are taking this year. So that, again, if you're thinking about embedding, that might be the way to go.
Cool. Jumping back to alerts real quick. Is it possible to, I guess the question is, change the wording of the alert?
Yeah, I'm probably sure. Yeah, I'm sure that Taufik is thinking about changing the email of the alert. Right now you get an email. The email is just kind of predefined in Metabase. You kind of change the wording in the alert. For that, you might want to change or to fork the code. It's a pretty simple change if you think about it. It's just like fork the code, search for the template, and just change the alerting. That's at least for that. If you're gonna get something, but it's not with the alerting. In subscriptions, you can do that. I mean, again, it's not alerting the subscriptions, but in subscriptions, you can put headers, and things text on the subscription. That again might be what you're looking for.
Cool. I think that hopefully answers Donovan's question as well. Let me know if you need more details.
Yeah, Donovan, if you have more details about that, dashboard emailing is it's a subscription, right? A dashboard subscription. I don't know if you're searching for something else around that, or any specific thing about subscriptions, but let us know if you need anything there.
Yeah, similar with Josh's question, is there any way to pass parameters into alerts? For example, if I have a table with user emails, who should receive the alert? Can that be passed into the alert rather than listing them manually?
That is interesting. Kind of like there's no way of doing that. That's really interesting. Like a conditional alert or a conditional subscription. No. Right now, what you could do, and again, it's not alerts, but it's in subscriptions. There's one feature that we might have to put that better in a better way in the documentation, which is you can define subscriptions, and depending on the filter that you put, it's gonna go to one people or another. So you can say create a subscription. And if I put something here in this filter, this subscription will go to these people, and this other subscription will go to other people. You need to remember always that Metabase is basically it's a REST API behind the curtains. So you might be able to do absolutely everything that I'm telling you via the API. Like creating things when some event happens as well.
Cool. Ariana has a question. There is a current bug when setting an event. It sets the day before the real date. For example, if I want to create an event on the 15th of December, it creates a date on the 14th of December. Is that fixed with 48?
Yeah, I know about that because I reproduced it, but we just reproduced it a couple of days ago. It is not very old. Yes, we know that it's there. We haven't yet addressed that. The issue happens. I still don't know if it's because of the time. It's definitely because of the time zone of the user. So again, it's pretty new. We still haven't had the time to check it out.
Okay, Carolina asked, any news on new graph types such as tree maps?
Yeah, like we are improving a lot. Right now we are working on the internals of our graph rendering engine. And although we are not shipping like tree maps or any new this type like really soon, we are kind of working on the infrastructure to make it easier in the future. So it's in our plans to increase the area that you cover with visualizations, add like tree maps, Sankey charts, sunbursts, things that we know our customers want. But we are improving a bit our infrastructure before we go there, and like we hope to also add new functionality to charts that already exist, especially the the bar and line chart, we have very interesting plans to other better support to goals, interpolation of support lines. So these things are all in the works right now.
Cool. I think we have a follow-up from Donovan here about the dashboard. He's not talking about dashboard subscriptions, but trying to find out if it's a release, if it's included in the 47 or 48 release.
Yeah, I just left a message there.
Yeah.
So it's been there since version 40. I still don't remember. It's a bit old. Before it was called pulses. So you see something run called pulses in Metabase. We that evolved into what we have right now as dashboard subscriptions. And again, it's been there since version 40 or something like that. I cannot remember when.
Cool. Also, a follow-up from Taufik. Oh, you've also got that, Luigi. No, sorry, you don't.
No, not yet. So I want the alert in Slack. It's the same. I mean, right now the alert, it's not customizable. It's just you get an email or your Slack notification when something happens. My humble suggestion is that if you need something right now, kind of like an alert or something says do this, or whenever you see this, do that. Just go ahead and fork the code and just change wherever you're sending to Slack. Slack receives a markdown type of text, so it will be. I wouldn't say it's like simple, but it's not a big deal to change. By the way, just for reference, because we had a few people that is using alerting in Metabase for some use cases. Please, guys, remember that if you need like real-time or semi-real-time kind of alerting, Metabase is not the tool. Okay, like if there's something critical or life-threatening, if there's like earthquake detection system with Metabase, please don't do it. Like it's not wasn't meant for that. It's not a real-time or semi-real-time alerting system. But it's just it's gonna do a query at a certain time, and if some threshold passed, it will send you an alert. But if there's people depending on there's lives of people depending on if Metabase is gonna send you the alert, it's gonna send you the alert, but you're gonna notice that when Metabase does the query, not like real time or semi-real time. If you're looking for that, you need to look at other options. Just for reference, because we had some people that sent us an email some time ago saying like this is crucial and critical, and critical systems are a completely different breed of systems, right? So please make sure that you're not using alerting for those kind of use cases.
Yeah, one thing that our customers do to add messages and alerts is like the alert will return everything that comes out from the query. So you can add like a new field with instructions, like hard-coded things to your query. Like if you're writing SQL, you can just add a new column and write whatever you want there, and the alert will return that. That can be a workaround depending on what you want to do.
Nice. Do we have plans for a party or mouse pads for Metabase 50? That's a good question. Maybe I should start asking for budget now for that release. I think it'll be this year.
It will be Meta Party, and it will be the metaverse. Yeah. So that would be cool.
Yeah, I'll send out a save the date soon. Some things to figure out there. Cool. I think that's the last of our questions. If anyone else has anything they want to sneak in last minute. Otherwise, you can catch this webinar recording on YouTube or also on our events page, which is just metabase.com/events. Yeah, I think we're finished with questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you to Luis and Luigi for presenting. Yeah, it's been great to have you all, and we'll see you for the next one. Have a nice day. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.